Ooh. Welcome back to the CCS Season 5 Championships. I went to the wrong screen in a production moment, but we got one more game to close on our Jordan. It's a 6-hour slate at that, ready to finally get to a close. Number 7, Connecticut, taking on number 10, Rutgers, the Scarlet Knights in the Big Ten, looking for their first ever tournament victory after 2 straight seasons of losing in the first round.
Yeah, I mean, this should be another really great 7-10 matchup, rounding out the night. I'm really excited to see how this one goes through. I think a lot of people are split on this pick between UConn and Rutgers.
I've got Connecticut, although I have talked a lot about Rutgers. I think they're a great team. Yeah, I'm good friends with both these teams, so either way, it hurts to watch a friend lose. So I'm just excited to see what happens.
Yeah, I also have Rutgers. I think this could be a really great matchup. I think I have it in my bracket going to 7. I do have UConn taking it, though. I think they should be able to do work here. Rutgers, though, they're one of those teams where it feels like any given night, they can absolutely pop off. And again, we saw them in conference play. They swept Michigan State. Obviously, we've heard that the Spartans, they were trying a new play style. They weren't kind of that 100% team that we've seen them develop as, but they still did it. The result's still there.
Yeah, they still beat one of the best teams in the country, so you can't take that away from them. I have the Huskies in 6 on my bracket, but I don't really know who's going to win. I am good friends with both teams, so I'm just hoping it's a good game.
Yeah, I'm hoping so as well. I mean, Rutgers, they can compete with the best of them. We've seen UConn for a long time, Nation. We really haven't. I mean, we're seeing them in the tournament as well. They are looking for their first. What's up?
Hold on, just keep yapping.
Okay.
Might have made an oopsie. Oh, I did make an oopsie. Oh, crap.
What did you... Oh, I think I know what it is.
Yeah, can you flip it real quick? Okay, yeah, hold on, chat. We're having some issues here.
I'll just keep talking. UConn looking for their first victory in the 64 team tournament. Last season they got matched up with Arizona, round 1. And that's gonna be tough. I mean that was a tough matchup. They got swept by the Wildcats. Now they got a little bit of a better seeding, a little bit of a better matchup here versus Rutgers. They very well could find this victory.
You're taking care of it, right?
I mean,
okay, I'm gonna have to do it. Dang it, hold on.
Here, Nation, just put the lobby on different sides. That's what I would do.
Okay. You know what? That's valid.
I would just quickly do that. I think that'll probably take less time.
Oh goodness.
Oh boy. Yeah. I mean, either way, you have to clear.
Yeah, I gotta remake the lobby.
Yeah, we're just gonna get a quick lobby reset here, but yeah, again, final matchup of the night. Obviously, I joined you late, Nation. I mean, I know you just started casting with me, but you've been able to see this slate unfold. I mean, what do you think has been your favorite match so far that's already happened tonight?
That's a good question. I was really excited for Idaho State Utah Valley. I really thought Utah Valley could, come back after the WAC tournament with the vengeance and play well in the tournament. They played good enough, but the job was unsuccessful. They blew a 3-0 lead in game 2, which really could have been the tie turner for the Wolverines to get past the Bengals. But that game was fun. The Iowa State, that was almost another choke job in the first round. They almost happened again. That was fun as well.
Yeah, I mean, I unfortunately didn't get to didn't get to see most of the matchups, and I really was sad because it was a really great slate today. I mean, we obviously had a lot of, we have 7-10 matchups, and then obviously the 8-9 matchup at Iowa State versus East Carolina. We thought might be a good one, and obviously it did go to 7, so it was close, but we have seen a lot of fun ones, and I'm excited to see this very last one versus UConn and Rutgers. I know a lot of people are rooting for both these teams. I know a lot of people have high hopes for both these teams, especially now that we saw that bit of weakness for Radford when they went versus Quinnipiac. A lot of people think that the winner of this one could go a lot further now.
Yeah, I mean, Radford should be... That was very interesting. What happened to Radford in the first round with Quinnipiac. Now, the winner of this will play Radford next on Friday. And Radford's in trouble. I feel like the winner of this might have a really good shot of making the regional semifinal.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, Quinnipiac gave Radford a real run for their money. I mean, Radford did not look as good as we've seen in the past. And again, it's going to be really tough to see them take down either one of these teams, and especially we're going to get a full showing of what both these teams have to offer. And obviously, there can only be one winner, but we'll have to see who it can be moving forward. And we'll see who can move on, and then round they might get through this one, they might get through Radford, and then we'll see if they can make it further on versus I believe it's Northeastern or Pitt.
We'll have to wait and see how things shake out. But Connecticut, a 7 seed playing 10 seed Rutgers, the underdog on the left side of your screen for this series, because Nation Realm made an oopsie and made the overlay backwards. So you guys are going to deal with it.
I don't think people will mind too much, especially with UConn getting on the board in the first 14 seconds.
The Huskies, an early start. The game one, and Jonas again, UConn the favorites. These midnight kicks have not favored Rutgers well this season. They've had 2 of them, and they're 0-2 in those showings.
Yeah, ultimately, the midnight kicks don't favor a lot of teams, but yeah, Rutgers even less so. And we'll see how they do versus UConn. Ultimately, we saw a bit of a tough sequence there. We kind of saw what happened to Venom in the Washington State series, as we saw Anxiety go for the shiny thing and kind of leave NP in a really tough spot to try and take that one away. That double was just missed on the far side. Now Lamb, a turnaround here. No redirect. No, it's there. Lamb is still up. Can he put it away? No!
But Cats got the finish, 2-0 for the Huskies of Connecticut, 4:20. Perfect time on the clock there, by the way. And, Rutgers go from a double tap attempt to completely getting scored on the other way.
Yeah, that was almost the best dime I've ever seen from Noah off the backboard into Lamb. But Cap will secure it again. The Rutgers defense looking a little bit awkward in these first 45 seconds. I'm expecting them to get better and adapt over time. But UConn, they're a threatening team for a reason. They are, they show out in the Big East for a reason as well.
Yeah, 2-time Big East tournament champions, and back in season 3 when they won the Big East over Butler, and then last season they did lose to Villanova, but they reclaimed that Big East title this season over Xavier.
Yeah, Xavier, they had themselves a really fun run, and obviously Galaxy's in chat is eliminated, but most likely rooting on his Big East rivals, as want to see one team from the Big East go really far here. Anxiety, flip reset on target, saved by Cap, and UConn have held really well through the first minute 30.
Yeah, Villanova is still yet to play against number 2 Ball State on Tuesday night next week, so still 2 more chances for the Big East to get to the round of 32, but so far the conference 0-1 after Xavier's loss. But UConn tonight are favorites to advance.
Yeah, they are indeed, but a lot of people have that 7-10 upset pick of Rutgers because, again, like we said earlier on, Rutgers is one of those teams where they can absolutely go crazy some nights. Some nights it looks like it's not their night at all, but again, they're one of those teams that can really take control, and we'll see if they have themselves a good night. Obviously, you look at the single elim tournament, it does favor the more solid and consistent teams, and I think that's why I have Connecticut slightly over Rutgers in this one.
Both these teams have 2 tournament appearances so far, Jonas, so experience is equal for both the Scarlet Knights and the Huskies, so that's not going to provide an edge tonight either, as UConn, though, have had a hot start.
Yeah, they really have, and they're looking to keep adding on the pressure. Anxiety snapshot on target. Cap will make this save solidly. We saw Cap's defense really displayed in that cracked 1v1 tournament, also sponsored by Homestead. That was a really fun environment to see Cap in.
That was a lot of fun to watch Cap ball out against Kevin. That was a really elite series to watch. But for me though, Jonas, I know Connecticut lost season 3 to Tennessee in the first round, or
yep.
Wait, no,
our second round.
No, second round. So they've gotten a win before, so they have to have a tournament win. Rutgers, in the hand, has 0 tournament wins though.
Yeah, they've struggled a little bit. They've had themselves some tough matches, and they're of course just looking for that first one, but it's not an easy draw versus UConn last season. They almost got it. They were 1 game away from taking down Cincinnati. That would have been a huge win for Rutgers, but were not able to take that game 7, and now under pressure already here in game 1 for UConn, but it's still a long series ahead.
Did Connecticut advance to round 2 last season?
No, they were eliminated by Arizona round 1.
So they're 1-1. 1-2 in the tournament is Rutgers. A huge save there to keep the Scarlet Knights within 2:75 ticks to play. In game number 1 is Rutgers still looking for that first goal of the night.
They are indeed. Anxiety. A nice clear away to Aquario. Did get that boost stolen. Noah's just going to lob it on target. Anxiety was already up for it. Lamb, quick save into the backboard. Will leave it for Cap to clear away out to Noah. And we are seeing some great team play from Connecticut again. Those smooth rotations finding each other well. And that's one of those things that just comes with time and chemistry.
Absolutely. 48 seconds, though, and the Scarlet Knights. Demos galore. An open target here. Will it count? It's good for 1.
Yeah, and I mean, ultimately, just the double demo sweeping through. There was no one left after Lamb was taken out, Cap was taken out. And, you know, Anxiety just gifts it to Aquario, and that's a great first goal for Rutgers.
42 seconds as Rutgers back within 1. More than enough time to find a way to score, but your offense has to be efficient if you get a look.
Yeah, it really does. And Cap will demo Aquario there. That's a huge 50 from Lamb, almost flying through now. The Scarlet Knights need to speed things up here with 25 seconds left to go. Anxiety only 16 boosts in the tank. Will end up trying to fake. Lamb still works his way under him, gets it out to Aquario in the midfield. It's going to be blocked by Noah. Connecticut just looking to hold.
15 to go. The Scarlet Knights need to find a way to get down the field. Aquario gonna have full boost here, 1-on-1, trying to chase down Cap. Will put it high for Anxiety. That shot is good. We're tied.
4 seconds left to go. Anxiety knocks it down. Cap just had low boost, nowhere to go. Lamb just a little bit too late in climbing up the back wall. You can see him kind of hesitate, not use that boost in time. And Rutgers tie it up with 4 seconds remaining. Maybe something off the kickoff. Anxiety will be blocked by Cap. Lamb looking for one last chance in regulation.
One last chance in regulation as Rutgers going to let it drop overtime in game 1.
And I very well think this could just be a testament to how close this series could be. Again, I have it going all the way to 7. I think it can get there. And game 1 OT is always a good sign. Anxiety reset. Shot on, saved by Lamb. Cap trying to speed his way out. Low boost. Flick will be shut down. Noah was leaking forward for demo as well. Anxiety, another big save out. Going to start the counter. Noah gets it over to NP. Taking a little bit of time. Aquario will rush it into the corner.
30 seconds so far into the extra period as the defense of Rutgers, so still trying to fend off the Huskies' offensive pressure. And, you know, a lot of these underdogs have done pretty well fending off the press. And that shot also off the bar. Rebound is good. UConn, game 1. We'll take it.
Yeah, Rutgers just collapsing under that pressure. Aquario, that slight miss on the 50. NP could not get enough power, and Anxiety just left all alone. No boosts on the goal line, and UConn take a solid game 1.
We get overtime. That was a fairly close game 1, but on to game 2. Jonas, 5 minutes in. Early thoughts?
I mean, I think it's going to be a battle. We saw Connecticut have a bit more of that offensive pressure. You can see 14 shots compared to the 8 from Rutgers, but Rutgers did better defensively. They still a little bit more efficient on the offensive side. I kind of expected those stat lines to maybe flip a little bit, but regardless, it was a very, very close start. UConn just staying narrowly out in front, taking the OT, but this could be a classic series developing.
Really could be. As the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers from Brunswick, New Jersey, and UConn out in Stores, Connecticut. Rutgers want to speed this up.
They want to go to bed. And Cap is just there. He goes. He's got it. Maybe that'll be the strategy for UConn, just trying to tire out Rutgers throughout this series.
Hitting their head mentally too.
That being said, game 2 set to go. UConn looking to extend their lead in the series swiftly to 2-0. Rutgers looking for a quick fight back. They don't want to give Connecticut too much room to work.
Mystic, they are in New Brunswick, New Jersey. For Rutgers. As a very far East Coast go out in New Jersey. But Rutgers from the Big Ten, Connecticut from the Big East. The Big East has had no success in the tournament outside of UConn in recent history. The Big Ten's had success all over, but now Rutgers trying to find their first win in the CCS championships.
And they very well could in this one again. You know, we already talked about it. This one was pretty split. I mean, it's a 7-10 matchup, pretty close in seeding, and obviously people have seen what Rutgers have done in the past. They have a lot of faith in this team.
As he should. I think a lot of people should have faith in both these teams. And Connecticut's had quite the story in CCS, and Rutgers have had a couple tournament appearances, couple of close calls with some really good teams in the first round. So I think if they can break through that first round, who knows what can happen.
And now Noah getting bumped out there by Cap. This one sent upfield, no double from NP. Lamb will go back towards the corner. I mean, both these teams still looking to break through here in game 2. It stayed very even throughout this first minute. NP low boost will just send one to the corner. Big demo from Noah. Anxiety gonna get demoed as well. Net open for a moment, but Aquario will spawn and make the save.
3.5 to go in game 2. UConn trying to extend their series lead to 2. Rutgers looking to get this to a game 5 minimum. There's a fast break for NP over all 3 defenders, and it will just trickle in.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately just a huge clear here, and you're seeing Cap get caught out as third. Thought there was going to be some contact between NP and Noah. No good, and that one just falls in off the post.
3:25 to go. The Scarlet Knights, their first lead of the night, Jonas. We'll see if they could keep this lead going and send us to game 5 later on. But again, UConn's offense knows how to deal pressure well. We'll see if Rutgers can stand up.
I mean, all 3 shots we've seen have been saved by Rutgers. All 3 shots we've seen from Connecticut, that meaning. And there's still a lot of chances here for the Huskies to try and fight back in it, but Rutgers doing a great job finding themselves that open space, cutting off a lot of these plays before they really even develop for UConn.
First 2 minutes, though, I mean, it's been solid defense for Rutgers, and again, their only goal was because UConn overextended. They burned, UConn's on a mistake, so if they can continue to just, take advantage of opportunities given to them, they might be A-okay here.
This one off the backboard and away. Anxiety will turn it back towards Aquario. A high chip. Lamb going for the challenge. Aquario gets it up high. Anxiety off the backboard, drops it down. It's 2-0 Rutgers.
2:31 Anxiety opens up the second lead for the Scarlet Knights, and Aquario on the assist there to get it across the backboard, and it's an easy 1-2 punch for the Scarlet Knight offense.
Yeah, they're really starting to lock in here. Nation and Connecticut don't seem to have much of an answer. Anxiety off the kickoff. A quick shot will be saved away, but 2 goals in the first half of this game, and UConn are getting shut out halfway through this one, and they got to find some traction here to get back into this game.
Absolutely. 2 minutes though to go in game 2, and UConn's offense is fairly consistent, or at least for what we're used to in these series, Jonas. It's fairly, not so consistent. We see them kind of get shut out like they are right now.
Yeah, I mean, it really is interesting to kind of see this turn. Obviously, we know the kind of play that Rutgers can bring to the table, and UConn, they look to be a team who would be able to combat that quite well, but Rutgers, when they're in form, and this second game looks to be all theirs.
1:35 to go. Anxiety. Around 1. Fires. No good. A rebound not there in time, but a great look put away by the post.
Trying to keep the momentum running. Anxiety turns in a third as that touch from Cap was just not good enough off the backboard. Gives another freebie away.
1:27. It's 3-0. And this lead, if they can continue to build up momentum, the Scarlet Knights could be so back.
They really could, and they're creating a lot of pressure moving forward. UConn, they really need to find some sort of footing in this one, because they might not be able to keep things going in game 3 if they don't at least break through once here in this second game, because this looks to be all Rutgers right now. Another big dunk, and UConn, they're getting caught out time and time again throughout the midfield, and their offense hasn't been able to deal when they're upfield.
1 minute to go. Here's Rutgers. Now just to hold on tight to a 3-0 lead, make that 4-0. Potentially, it's good for a fourth Aquario at his first of game 2.
Yeah, and again, this is just a swift counterattack. You can see just no one in the midfield for UConn. It's got to be better.
I mean, Jonas, we've gotten to know these teams quite well over the last 2 years in CCS, and UConn we've known for years. They're another league, so it's been fun to watch their development and getting to know this Rutgers program, and they're all great guys. It's fun to watch them compete.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, we've seen them in obviously other leagues in the Black Line Championship Series. We've seen them develop in we've seen a lot of great plays from him, and obviously welcoming them here into CCS has been amazing to see so far. And now we're just hoping to see that run can continue as Noah will shut down the shutout, finds one for UConn, at least finding one at the latter half of this game.
Yeah, UConn gonna find one, and I've gotten to watch several different variations in years of this UConn roster, all the way back from 2020 and even back in 21 when they won the Big East Big East Conference Championship back in another league that the Big East put on in 2021. But it's fun to watch development, and we've gotten to watch these players come through UConn and even out Rutgers with the Scarlet Knights. But this tournament is always unforgiving. I'm excited to see who comes out on top.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the other interesting things, kind of about collegiate Rocket League is, there's always going to be those natural changes in rosters. I mean, you always see roster changes at the higher levels in RLCS and so on, but it's always happens naturally because players graduate, players transfer. It just naturally happens, and some players are just kind of doing Rocket League on the side while participating in school, and you see those transfers happen, you see those rosters switch up, and it's always interesting to kind of keep track. And one season you might have a team who's not all too good, the next season they could be the cream of the crop.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think this is Aquario's final semester with Scarlet Knights, so we'll have one more rodeo this summer in CCS Season 6. But, Season 5, this is his final semester, so he's got, one more chance left to win a tournament game, so this might be his best chance.
Yeah, very well could be. And I mean, again, the winner of this one will take on Radford, and honestly, seeing how Radford fared against Quinnipiac, it's very winnable for the winner of this one to move on towards round 3. Which
would be the farthest either team has ever gone. So it's, again, a lot on the line, and they know Radford is ahead for the winner, but they did not look good in the first round. So that's, is that a positive momentum booster for these teams, or is it kind of, okay, maybe they might lock in round 2?
Oh, I think it's 100% a momentum booster for each of these teams. They know if they get through this one, they have a decent shot at upsetting the 2 seed in the East region and getting to that 3rd round. That's just, again, unwritten territory for both these sides, and they know it starts here. However, they need to know that this game is top priority. They can't look too far towards the future.
Not at all, and that double, it's almost through, but it's no good. The rebound, no market, good for one. The Scarlet Knights back on top.
And the defense just taking too long to react here. Nation Lamb and Cap both caught out, and you can see Cap wanting to leave it for Lamb, even though he was in a clean position to just kind of boom that one across end. Instead, it ends up right in the hands of Anxiety, and Rutgers get the first.
Oh, Knights up by 1 as Connecticut just trying to find a way to get back in this series. As the last 6 minutes have not gone the way they are hoping for. Jonas, they had a really good game 1, but Rutgers, again, put on a good showing at the end of game 1, has since locked in and had this Connecticut roster looking for answers.
Yeah, and they do need to find some answers as of right now, because they are not bringing a double commit there on the defensive side. Still find the save. Anxiety double. Tries to get back to it with a pre-flip there. NP, solid 50 through the corner, trying to get around Cap. Can't do so. Clear is made, but only for a moment. Rutgers right back on the attack.
Anxiety diving in, will find one touch. It's immediately set back up for Connecticut to try to transition, but the Scarlet Knights offense still dealing pressure in blue territory. That shot won't roll through. Cap will clear it away, but UConn still going to face one more attack.
And Rutgers have put on 7 shots, Nation, in this first minute and a half compared to the 0 for Connecticut. It's a goose egg over there.
That might be a shot here, though, for Noah. Yeah, it will register as, but MP, an easy save, will kick that one out.
Now UConn just trying to steamroll their way through the defense of Rutgers, but they're going to need a different strategy if they want to try and use physicality. I think that's a little bit more Rutgers' domain.
Yeah, these two teams don't play physical. Neither does anybody in the Big Ten or the Big East. So it's kind of a new territory to, bring out a new strategy in the tournament. See if you can catch a team off guard that hasn't dealt with much physicality for the course of the year.
As Anxiety will just knock this one down. A swift 51 there. Anxiety 50s it over to NP. He 50s it through another, and it leaves it wide open. Looking and see Lamb just panicking on the goal line. Nowhere to go, nothing to do.
2-0. And now a 6-1 run for Rutgers, I believe.
Yeah, it's up there at this point. I mean, UConn They got to look sharper on the defensive end. Their 50s, their challenges have not been up to the mark they need to be. And Rutgers is starting to be very, very aware of how this UConn team is approaching them, and it's keeping it close. And you got to think that as the series goes on, UConn should be able to adapt. But right now, not seeing many signs of it.
Got a rule one broken there between Lamb and NP, and also you have to think about too earlier on in the year. I mean, Rutgers beat Michigan State, one of the best teams in the country. As anxiety makes it 3-0, but they suffered a loss to Washington and Ohio State, who missed the conference tournament. So if they could clean up those bad losses, they could have had a much better seed in this tournament.
Oh, 100%. I mean, it was one of those sequences, Nation. It was just one of those couple matches that you kind of see the results, and you just kind of think, what? Michigan, the loss that Michigan State fared against Rutgers, that was one thing. And, seeing Rutgers like, wow, maybe they really caught him off guard like that and people turn in a fourth pretty easily off the kickoff here, had Cap running. But then the immediate turnaround and the loss to UW and Ohio State later on in those weeks, it was just kind of shocking to see.
Yeah, they beat Michigan State. 2 weeks later, they lost to Washington at midnight Eastern kickoff, and then a week later lost to Ohio State. So it's 2 bad weeks. It could cost them their season here.
Yeah, it very well could. Yeah, where do you think they'd end up seeding wise if they won those 2?
Well, their only loss would have been to Michigan State, and I think they had one other conference loss. They probably would have been around a 5.
Yeah, I think they would have been really up there. I mean, their only conference losses again. Their only other conference loss was Illinois. That was the 3rd.
And their Big Ten tournament seeding would have been better as well. So
yeah,
they wouldn't have played Michigan State first. They could have had a favorable game there, and their seeding could have been really, really good for this tournament.
Yeah, very well could have. And their non-con didn't look back as well. They split week 1 with FIU and Utah, obviously taking down the Utes and dropping to the Panthers of Florida International. And then, week 2, they split as well and got a Game 5 win versus Quinnipiac and lost in 5 to Clemson. So again, they had some really solid wins and they had some really tough losses. It was kind of just an interesting season all around for Rutgers. And now they're looking to defend and stay alive in the tournament.
Now, I'm really kind of hoping that, maybe one of these games gets really close with not much time left and see if we get another kickoff masterclass.
Yeah, it very well might happen. But that being said, a minute left here in game number 3, and Rutgers still confidently ahead by 3 at this point. UConn, again, have not seemed to gain much traction and really haven't been able to find that footing more so since game 1. And Rutgers, they're more than happy just to kind of take things at their own pace and ultimately setting the pace here in Connecticut, trying to break through, but can't find any real consistency on the pitch.
That Clemson game might have been one of the most craziest games I think we've ever done together, Jonas. That was just insanity. In game 5, they kick off back. They had like 2 or 3 kickoff goals in the span of seconds. That was insane.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes that's just the way it happens. Obviously, you don't see as much kickoff goals as the player count goes up, so you see of course a lot in 1s, a little bit more in 2s, and more in 3s. But seeing that many in that span in the 3v3 game up between Clemson and Rutgers, it just seemed insane.
Like Clemson scored with like 2 seconds left. Rutgers like, oh, no big deal. Kickoff classic, they tied the game and lost in overtime. But again, they just feel like the kickoff classic was so fun to see. Hope we get to watch it in the tournament. That'd be really cool to have their moment.
I mean, as of right now, they don't seem to need it, as they added on another, made it 5-1, and it has just been a dominant showing from this Rutgers team. Aquario is going to add on another. No, NP is going to steal it now. Anxiety and NP both have Hatties through game 3.
NP just going to take that goal. 6-1 though. The final, the Scarlet Knights lead the set 2-1.
Yeah, he just didn't want to give Aquario any. He just wanted his hat trick, and he just wanted to leave Aquario 0 for 5.
On to game 4, as the Scarlet Knights a win away from match point.
Yeah, and ultimately you can see the difference in the shot category. The 14 from Rutgers to the 6 of UConn. I mean, doubling the shot count and honestly just being much more efficient. Obviously, UConn going 1 for 6. But Rutgers going 6 for 14 on that kind of shot count is insane.
And they got a lot of shots off in it, paid dividends. They still found a way to win, and And they put on 6 goals. That's hard to crawl out of a hole when you're down by 5.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you know, they get 2 back-to-back. Pressure is on UConn. If they drop this next one, they might not be able to bring it back.
Game 3's got to be a good start for UConn here. Cap trying to deliver the first, and it's good for the double.
Yeah, puts the double away off the right post side. Noah thought he may have had it to the pre-jumping Lamb. Thought Cap put it off target. No big deal. Rebound's good.
10 seconds into game 4, and the Connecticut Huskies finally have themselves a lead for the first time since game number 1.
Well, now Nation will see if they can defend it. Noah slow play, chips it around one, skies it over another, looking to double this one middle. NP stays patient off the backboard, plays it out. Anxiety there, not a ton of boost. Lamb notices shot on save by Aquario.
Beautiful touch there. Going to give Rutgers some defensive pressure pulled off of their defense, but UConn right back in Rutgers territory. NP left alone. Good touch though, way towards the opposite corner. We'll find Aquarius, the Scarlet Knights offense, trying to get into transition attack and find a way to get this game back to level.
And you got to feel that they're going to be able to respond so quickly after seeing what their offense can really do. Obviously, putting up 6 in that last game. You're going to sharpen up, get right back into it, eventually break through this UConn defense just like they've been doing. But UConn, they got a good start, and sometimes that's all it takes to really turn the tide.
And Noah also a senior here for Connecticut. That's going to be a big blow to the UConn roster in 2025, 6th school year. But Rutgers also losing Aquarius, so it's a 1-1 trade-off for these teams. So they kind of trying to give their seniors something to leave on.
And we'll see what each of these teams is going to be able to do come fall, as it'll be interesting to see how a lot of teams develop. A lot of teams are going to be graduating. Some teams will be developing more. Always going to be incoming freshmen to keep an eye on. And one of the teams that I'm interested to watch. We haven't seen them yet in the tournament. Middle Tennessee State. I just want to give them a shout. Obviously, the new Conference USA champions, a full freshman roster. They're going to be a lot of fun to watch develop.
FIU better be scared going into next year. Now they know that their crown has been taken. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch next season. But this action here, Connecticut trying to give Noah a chance to win another tournament game.
And they very well could. This one's still not set in stone. Obviously, Rutgers had 2 great back-to-back games, but you're seeing UConn fighting hard. Might have a shot. Look here from Lamb, but he's going to put it off target. Wanted to put that right side a little bit too much. Double demo comes through. NP immediately gets back to it. UConn trying to keep up the offensive press.
Halftime in game number 4, as Rutgers can get this series on ice. What they win here, Aquario drop down, no one there though. Is a Scarlet Knight offense a little bit too far back into play.
Yeah, half this game gone by, and obviously we've seen kind of a lower shot count. We haven't seen a ton of the offense really going back and forth. It's been mostly the defenses trying to meet each other at the midfield, limit attacks before they really start, and both teams only 2 shots on each other's nets so far through game number 4, and it very well could stay the course for a little while, as no one really wants to overextend, Nation.
And again, UConn's already gotten burned for overextending twice tonight, so they know that if they do it, they're going to have to pay the price for it. And Rutgers, they know that that we've capitalized off it. We don't want to give UConn a chance to capitalize off us.
It might be a look here. Noah will sweep it away to the sidewall. Gets it around NP. Not a ton of boost remaining. Might have a late touch here on the 50. Anxiety. A great shutdown on that play. NP flying by for a moment. Anxiety blocked by Cap. Rutgers doing everything they can to try and work. NP misses. That leaves it wide open for UConn. They're up 2.
The Huskies 2-0. A minute 26 to go. Game 6 looking pretty good, Jonas.
And pouncing on that mistake immediately are the Huskies, and that's just one of those things. After so much pressure that UConn were able to build, Rutgers eventually, that slight bend, that slight break is all it takes to send another one through for UConn.
Scarlet Knights have 80 seconds to get 2 here, but again, their offense has put up nothing. They're going to need 3 now.
Yeah, and that defense, again, it just seeming to crumble under the pressure now. The later we get into this, Lamb, a great first touch shot. Anxiety was pre-jumping, and NP actually dove in as well. He had low boost. He dove across for the save, and that left it wide open for Cap.
And can't give 3 goals in the tournament. That's going to be your first demise in this the championships, Jonas. And Rutgers now going to need 3 in the last minute, and they're not going to be able to find one. Here's the defense will hold off.
I mean, we saw the perfect example of what happens when you give away free goals. And obviously, that last match between Virginia Tech and Washington State, as Wazoo gave away, 4 goals in the first minute in game 1. They gave away 3 goals in the first minute of game 2, and they ended up losing those games pretty contently, and they just couldn't will themselves back into the series. You don't want to have that happen. You need to stay locked in right from game 1. Otherwise, things can get out of hand quick.
As UConn's got it for 36 seconds. They're going to take turns blowing each other out.
Yeah, and ultimately just unceasing pressure at this point. UConn is going to Cap a hat trick. He slots this one perfectly bottom left, and we have seen Cap shooting, of course, really displayed in the 1v1 circuit as well, and that obviously translating well into threes.
Absolutely. 30 seconds to play here. At this point, if you're Rutgers, you look ahead to Game 5 in a new life to extend this series to 3-2 in your favor. As UConn now have had their dominant game, how will both teams adjust going into the final third of this series?
I mean, that's always the big question. It's always fun to kind of see matches like this because, obviously you have that back and forth of the games, but especially when it's blowouts, you never know what kind of team you're going to see. As again, the defense from Rutgers just crumbles here. There was a double commit miss on the offensive side. Aquario just has no boost to work with, and Cap more than happy just to kind of set that one in for his 4th goal of the game.
Yeah, in the last 10 minutes, these two teams both have now seen themselves in 5-goal holes. We'll see who can crawl out.
Yeah, that seems absolutely incredible to trade 5-goal deficit games, as this one will come to a close. Maybe Rutgers able to prevent the shutout. No, it'll drop in time. UConn, a huge 5-0 victory here in game 4. It's a best of 3 from here on out.
Final third of the series, Jonas. We're 20 minutes in. What are your thoughts here in the best of 3?
I don't know what's going to happen next, Nation. I mean, again, it perfectly summarized it, saying game 3 into game 4. Rutgers got a 5-goal win. Connecticut turned right back around. They get a 5-goal win. You don't know what you're going to get from here on out. Rutgers could storm right back into it, or UConn could take sheer control. They take this game, get on match point, and then Rutgers storm back in game 6. You don't know.
Well, I picked UConn to win. I don't want my bracket to bust anymore than it already has, so I feel like I need UConn to win here, but I have to remain neutral. Again, I'm very happy if Rutgers win. I'm very happy if UConn win. But again, I had UConn winning in 6, so it feels like now that still could be a perfect prediction.
Sounded like a very political answer, Nation. I'm not biased, but this would be good.
It's been a good show.
Yeah, but I'm in the exact same boat, though. I do have UConn winning in my bracket prediction as well. That being said, it has not been a kind day for all of the brackets. I believe a lot of brackets have busted today. Is there any perfect brackets left?
I have no idea. I know that there are a lot of brackets in the line tonight. There was 11 left going into today. I have no idea if anyone is still perfect.
Yeah, I know that a lot of the analysts we had, a lot of the caster talent we've seen, cast CCS or cast other events in the Collegiate Rocket League scene. I think all of those busted. I know Danger Taco and I both our brackets busted with the UTA loss, and I think that knocked out quite a few others as well.
I think Iceworks is busted too. Yeah, Utah Valley busted his.
Yeah, I mean,
so
there were a lot
perfect. I think we're down to 0 already.
Stormy Rhyme is claiming that he's perfect. We're gonna need to give that a fact check. Anxiety, big double here, misses Aquario, can't get it down on target. Ball from NP is wide. Noah misses, and somehow UConn escaping without conceding here.
We'll get perfect brackets checked at the end of this series once it comes to a close. Tori, who'd you pick in this game so we know what's on the line, and potentially if you are perfect?
Yeah, that is a great question, especially because this one is still very much
Rutgers.
in limbo too. Okay, so he picked Rutgers. He says Rutgers in 7, which is honestly a very solid bet at this point. Still very well could happen. That's a great touch away from Noah. NP puts it middle and straight to Lamb. Does he slot the open end? No, he misses wide.
Both teams have had elite chances in the first half to strike. There's another open target. Rutgers is going to strike first.
We saw that happen so much early on. Nation Connecticut just gave the free looks, and that is a massive double commit. Both Noah and Cap were up towards the Rutgers corner. You just cannot have that happen.
2:48 to play as the Scarlet Knights lead by 1 entering the second half, 18 seconds away from that. But again, it just feels like it's still anyone's game to win. No one has really created an actual advantage here.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen almost an even shot count and only differing by 1, actually favoring UConn. They're 0 for 6 as of right now. Rutgers defense has been really solid. I think the other thing is UConn, their shots haven't been all too threatening. I mean, we're seeing them put some on target, but they're not developing plays like this. As that was almost a highlight reel finish there, but defended well by the Huskies.
That almost went straight into that Rutgers player in midair that got bumped. But 2:15 to play. The Scarlet Knights still lead by 1, and like I was saying, I mean, it still feels like it's anyone's game to win. No one really looking the better part. They kind of look at this is an even playing field.
I mean, obviously the Rutgers do have the 1-goal advantage, and we've seen how hard it is to kind of swing back momentum in these individual games. This is a great look, though, 2v1. Noah going for the demo. Cap, that's a huge 50. It's wide open for Lamb. We're all tied up.
And the Huskies able to equalize. Cap going to put that one straight by Anxiety, and Aquario getting bumped out of the play. 1:53 to go. We're back to even.
Yeah, Aquario was trying to read, thought that 50 would go straight through. Did not expect it to kind of be redirected towards the right side of the net, and therefore just ended up kind of go flying by. NP, an accidental touch there. Anxiety will be able to recover well with a touch back out to the midfield. That's a bad bounce for Lamb. Anxiety going to get demoed as this one poked almost on net by Cap. It will be eventually turned away. 90 seconds left to go, and we're stuck at equilibrium once again.
Rutgers and UConn territory. Aquario will punt that one back the other side of the field here. And, you know, for me, Jonas, this series, again, is full of friends. I'm happy for the winner. But, again, these two teams, this is about as even playing field as you can get in the first round of the tournament.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, we're seeing it put on full display. A lot of people had this one going to 7, and you're seeing why, because it very well could get there. Also, I do want to point out that great save just about 20 seconds ago from Noah. Got the double off his own post and out towards the corner. Now we'll get a huge 50 up high. NP will secure it towards the corner. Cap looking to get this one middle and across. Noah lurking in the far corner after stealing the boost. Turns middle again. Anxiety the touch out. A miss there up front. Cap will have to retreat and play the 50, and that being a big chance for Connecticut, not able to take advantage upon.
Still 35 to go. Rutgers trying to put something together late here. Got a bump, but couldn't turn that one away. Lamb over 2. Last up, it's Aquario. Will find the save back to midfield for Cap. Will shoot on target. Will not sail on through. MP. Rebound for Noah. Send high. The finish not there. Anxiety will turn it away.
Cap trying to continue forward. Wins the flick into the corner. Can't find another touch. Lamb looking to steer it up the side. Well, he does. Runs out of boost. Knows Noah's middle. He finds him there. Cap waiting patiently, not trying to overextend. They've already gotten burned. Now, snap shot off target will be played away by Rutgers. Overtime on the horizon. UConn are going to get one last look.
Double commit, no one there. Overtime again, the Huskies. 1 game, 1 overtime. We'll see if they can continue their perfect record in extra time.
And Aquario already going to have a great chance here. Cap a big 50. Again, that 1v1 showcase coming out here. And now the big clear. NP, can he get back to it? No, he backflips.
Wow.
I don't know if he would have been able to I think he could have reached it.
That's tragic.
Oh my word. And what a way to lose the OT there. That one dropping in for UConn. What a break for the Huskies there. Now they're sitting on match point.
That is a really tough way to lose. That is your season down the line. You backflip, and now you need to get a perfect 5 minutes. Send this to 7 and hope you can get a good chance.
I mean, we saw Rutgers win back-to-back in games 2 and 3. We know they're capable, but with their season on the line, that makes it all the more difficult.
UConn can send the Scarlet Knights home. We'll see if they can get a win here to avoid a scare on Game 7. As again, Game 7 of this tournament, Jonas, has been very, very kind to the higher seed.
Yeah, it has. I mean, how many total upsets have we seen? 1, 2?
1.
Oh, and it was Houston. Correct me if I'm
Yeah,
wrong. It was
that's
just
correct.
Houston. That's been yeah. So a 10 seed over a 7 seed, which isn't even a necessarily huge upset, and that being the only one we've seen in the tournament so far. That just feels insane.
Yeah. Well, let's see though. Game 6 underway. Connecticut can advance to the round of 32 with a win here. Rutgers trying to get this to Game 7.
Yeah, and UConn, they're looking for a quick start in this one. They want to get up early versus Rutgers, and they just want to hold it from there on out. Rutgers, they know that everything's working against them. They know that they got to win 2 in a row. It's anyone's game. This is a good snapshot from No, but it's off target. No one there for a follow-up.
There's been only one upset in this tournament so far, but there have been so many close calls in round 1. But unfortunately, oh my goodness, that was almost an own goal.
Lamb, you got to be careful, buddy. That's the wrong net. It will get turned around. Got some help from his team on not letting that one through. I believe it was Cap and net who was able to make the stop. But first minute just about gone. Rutgers developing a good attack. Aquario to the ceiling. NP not having the shot on target. Anxiety's 50 away. Demo is traded through the midfield. Aquario needs to hold off.
First minute gone. By the way, it's another double commit there for Rutgers' defense. Is another one double commit, and our comms starting to become a problem here. We're seeing double commit after double commit.
I think it's less comms. I think it's more just the stress of the game. Again, a single elimination tournament like this, you know tension's going to be high. You know once you get down into this kind of situation, you need to be mistake-free. That's a huge save from Aquarium. His tongue by Anxiety, who kept on falling, will send into the corner. NP trades his life for a clear, and Rutgers is able to hang on. But it has been a little bit scrappy to start this 6th game.
Another demo there for Noah and UConn. Oh, another one there for Anxiety. Finds a bump and play as well in the box. Now back for Aquario. That one sent wide. NP back to this touch in time. And those of you guys do not know, NP stands for no passion.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people think no problem, but it is no passion.
That is allegedly what his name
Allegedly.
stands for. It's Anxiety, though, trying to put this one away. Couldn't do it. 2 minutes now have elapsed without a single goal.
Anxiety up to the ceiling. Aquario is there. Good shot on target. Slight double commit there. NP throws it up. No one knocks it away. Approaching halftime. Very quickly in the 6th game, no one been able to find their way through just yet. Both teams have had some good looks. UConn might be the first one to break.
Halftime. In game 6, slippery set for Anxiety. Has no help, though. UConn's defense, no problem there. As the Scarlet Knights, their season on the line, Jordan is trying to put something away.
And a little bit dangerous there for the Scarlet Knights. Now a good 50 out from Cap. NP clears it away for a moment. Gets a good touch blocking Noah as well. He's going to retreat. Send it the way of Cap, who will turn it away for a moment. Aquario hops it up towards the corner. Noah right there to boom it away. Again, you can see both these teams, Nation, they do not look like they want to control the ball. Here's a nice infield pass. The give and go is good. Rutgers are on the board.
The Scarlet Knights, 2:05 to play, finally have a lead in Game 6. We'll see if they can hold on to send us a Champions Field.
And ultimately, again, we just see UConn. They slowed down for that one moment. They gave Rutgers too much space. There was no one challenging, and that great passing play opens up that free shot from point-blank range. You can't slow down for a moment, otherwise the opponent's going to be there.
Rutgers not out of the neck of the woods yet, Jonas. So again, there's still a long way to go. It's 1:50 on the clock to go before they see the light at the end of the tunnel here in Game 6. And Game 7 starting to loom, but we've seen some insanity moments to close Game 6 to either go to Game 7 or send a team home.
Yeah, we really have. And now Cap works his way through all of the defense. Do it yourself.
Well, that's about as bad of a breakdown as you can have in Game 6 with a lead, 1:35 to go. UConn quick to capitalize.
Yeah, just no one for the Scarlet Knights able to stop Cap. And, I think if there's anyone capable of 1v3ing, again, we just saw it was Cap, and he did it beautifully. He was in the opponent's territory, stole boost, and just took control down on the red side.
Noah gonna try to put this game away. A chance in front. It's good. The Huskies lead.
Yeah, and NP, just a big miss off the backboard there. Had a very, very tight margin of error and just could not make contact. And that one will roll cleanly through for Cap. Rutgers now down by 1. They're running out of time already.
84 seconds from down 1 to up 1. Now the Scarlet Knights season starting to look in jeopardy, Jonas. Is this clock now heavily against them? They need one more score to get back to overtime.
And overtime has not favored them as well. They have lost both overtimes so far, so they are, they most likely want to find 2 in this final minute. But we'll have to see. UConn, they've looked lights out as you kind of get into the later parts of these games, and now final minute left in play. Rutgers need to give it all they've got. Their backs are against the wall. I mean, this is the final game if they're not going to be able to bring it back.
They got 45 seconds to bring this one back as the Scarlet Knights need to find a way to find one score. UConn get 2 to go. Rutgers with numbers the other way. 2-on-1. Noah's alone. He'll turn it wide. 30 to play.
Yeah, it was a 3v1 for the moment, and the Scarlet Knights just couldn't move fast enough to take advantage. Now Cap, the clear downfield. Aquario's got nothing. Cap looking to play it over him. Aquario just getting back in time, but the pitch is middle. Noah's there. That might just be it.
20 seconds. UConn might have just delivered the dagger or the nail in the coffin, and that might just be it.
What a pre-flip from Cap to send that one middle. That is an absolute dime to Noah, and he's more than happy to collect the change. UConn looking to finish it. They just need to hold one big clear. Very well might do it. NP very well. What could be the last chance? Sends it down. The save is made. Lamb misses, but the clear is out. UConn are going to advance. Rutgers are going home the Oakle from anxiety. That is it.
And that's going to do it. Connecticut will move on to the second round of the East region. They'll take on 2-seeded Radford in a round of 32 next Friday.
And UConn very well could get that job done versus the Highlanders as well. They could have round 3 on the horizon for the first time, but this is a huge victory over the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers. And Rutgers, they're still searching for that first tournament victory.
That they will. And Aquario will have one more chance this summer to find a way to get his first career tournament victory. But Connecticut, the Huskies, will move on.
Yeah, and a very gritty matchup at that. Rutgers, they had the 2-1 advantage, but UConn stormed back and took 3 in a row. That's a big victory for UConn, and they ultimately, when they locked it in, Nation, they looked dangerous as danger can be.
That they did. Well, what a night and what a series to end things out. My bracket will get 2 points for that one. I picked that one in 6 for the Huskies, so I'll take that result with a grain of salt. But, what a night it's been, Jonas. We'll be live back again tomorrow, early at 5 Eastern for a 2-game slate, and then a 2-game slate at 9 Eastern as well. So we'll have Arizona and LA Tech, Wichita State, UCF at 5 and 6 Eastern respectively, and we'll close at 9 o'clock with Florida, Southeast Missouri State, and at 10 to wrap the night, San Diego State will take on California.
Yeah, it's a good slate. We're hoping to see some more of those close games, some more of those lower seeds competing with the higher seeds, but only time will tell.
Only time will tell. Cinderella of last season's tournament also plays tomorrow in California, but nonetheless, we'll see you guys later, and thanks for watching.